Hi, I'm Azia Smith, and this is EarthWise. We're a monthly series that focuses in on healthy, sustainable living in the CSRA. We're going to meet a lot of really amazing farmers and health enthusiasts who'll help us learn how to live a better, healthier life. So come grow with us.
I really enjoyed visiting Fish Head Farms in Sardis, Georgia. But earlier in the month, we were blessed to be able to tour 3 different farms in one day: Hard Earth Farm, Icebox Farm, and Bottle Tree Farm. We not only explored and learned about each farm, but we also enjoyed tasting the delicious food that was produced.
Hi, I'm Pam Averett. I'm the owner and operator of Hard Earth Farm. This is all that you see here in the background is used to be clear-cut land that we have restored into a working farm. Working meaning 7 days a week and 16-hour days. I think that's what that translates into when you hear people say they have a working farm. We actually have a really diverse farm, and it started out, I guess, as a hobby farm or a subsistence farm where we planted what we wanted to grow. And with the sheep, I learned how to spin my grandmother's spinning wheel. I got interested in that, and I got interested in raising sheep. And then my intestinal health took me in the direction of goat and goat milk, and we started with that. And both my husband and I are sort of overachievers, so it kind of grew. And so we have 40 sheep now and 12 milk goats. I am very passionate about doing my own part, and it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, but there's so much therapy in putting your hands in dirt, and I don't think people really realize it until they actually start doing it. And so much education and learning for kids to put a seed in the ground and watch it grow. I mean, it's doable, and you need a little bit of sunlight and a little bit of good compost and dirt, and you're good to go.
Good boy. Rosemary, sit.
They keep track of them by how do they know?
Good girl. Sit down.
American Guinea Hog.
Yeah, that one was sitting down for me a second ago.
You're good. And three of these guys will sit on command.
Well, I have a medical background, and Tasha has been interested in food forever. And actually, before we got married, we both started getting interested in local farming and urban farming. We actually lived in a small neighborhood, and we got some hens and two hens, and that's right. And before long, we had about 30 hens, and then we moved here, and we had more acreage, and so
we moved here because we wanted more acreage.
And so, we learned more about the local, sustainable, kind of clean, slow food movement.
And what was going on in the other side of the world, and what was going on in the big ag production.
That's right.
Yeah. And we didn't want to do that, and we didn't want to participate in that. And so there were a few options when we first started, and we just decided to grow some of our own. So
This amazing tree has 7 times more vitamin C than an orange. It has like 3 times more potassium than bananas. It has 2 to 3 more times protein than yogurt. It's an amazing plant. So this is actually in one of the dishes you guys are going to be tasting today. It's in the pear salad.
So you eat the leaves?
You do, and if you smell them, they kind of smell like boiled peanuts. So.
Slow food's basically the opposite of fast food. The big agricultural industry, basically its goals are more, faster, and cheaper. Whether you're talking about plants or animals, but what that does is discounts other goals that are also important, like quality. and so
humanity
and ethics, for instance. So the way that animals are treated, the way that the earth is treated, the way that your health is treated, and your community as well. So that's what slow food is. It's sort of the opposite of that big, more, faster, cheaper paradigm.
I'd always been interested in vegetable gardening, and several years ago my husband and I watched Food Inc., and that really opened our eyes to the current food system, and we just couldn't believe things were happening. I mean, we were just so naive and just in the dark about the food industry, and since watching that movie, we did a radical shift in the way that we in the food that we eat and the way that we look at food. And so that kind of started the journey, and we started with a garden and 2 chicks, and it's turned into a farm. So we do live in a neighborhood. We live on less than half an acre. So, and I like for things to look nice, not only for, because when I walk out the door I want to see nice things, but respect for our neighbors, since we live in such a heavily dense neighborhood. And so gradually over the years I've just tried to shift to edible landscaping. Like you said, instead of a dogwood, I can put an apple tree there, and it not only is beautiful, but it provides fruit. And so I've tried to look at it from maybe a landscaper's perspective and tried to make it aesthetically pleasing as well as productive. So that's kind of where I've gone with that, and it's just slowly expanded, and I've just looked for more ways to use my land very efficiently. I'll give you an example. Our peach tree one year produced over 100 pounds of peaches. So I was processing peaches for weeks. I do a lot of canning, so that was a banner year for the peach tree. So just one peach tree can produce all the peaches that you would want. And we grow vegetables almost year-round, and fruits. As far as fruits, we have the peach tree, we have fig, apple, pears, blackberries, blueberries, hopefully bush cherries in a few years. I just planted those. I think that's it for fruit, and just about any vegetable that can be grown locally, I've tried to grow it, or I do grow it.
Today was one of many farm tours that we host as Augusta Locally Grown. We are constantly looking for opportunities to invite people to meet their farmers, whether they're way out in the country or right here in the city. It's all about inspiration, you know, and it's all about building relationships between the people who grow the food and the people who eat the food. You know, we often have pretty deep and meaningful relationships with the people who do our nails and change the oil in our cars. But we've grown away from relationships with people who grow food. And in the process of losing those, what used to be very, you know, neighborly relationships, we've also gotten away from understanding anything about whole foods. Yeah. So we become satisfied with processed foods because it's the only thing we know. But when we start to buy local, we also want to know the people growing that food, and then we start to realize the diversity of foods that are out there that are being grown, the hard work and patience and wisdom that it takes to grow that food, and awesome ways to cook it and eat it and enjoy it. So, you know, you could say it's important to buy locally because it's better for you. You could say it because it's better for the environment. Basically, it's just more fun overall, and all those things.